it's working correctly yet. Okay, thank you for the thumbs up. Perfect. Awesome. So let's get started. Unfortunately, I can't see you, but hopefully you guys can see me. We will be focusing on down today. So everything that is lower body, kind of hip openings, also a lot of strength into the legs. And without further ado, we can actually slowly find our way onto our mats. Just find a comfortable seat. If you do have the privilege of having a block at home, then I would also say take a block. And if you are going to be coming with me and using the playlist, then you can actually go ahead and press play just about now. So you should start to hear kind of a mild song, something to ease us in. And then with that, you can close down the eyes, gently rest the hands onto your knees. And we'll slowly get started. If you would like, you can also start to close down the eyes. And just we'll start by just taking a few brief moments to really arrive into the mat or onto the mat and into our space. We try our best to really let go of whatever happened prior to us arriving here. Really just allowing ourselves the next 75 minutes or so to really be present. In a way, we're just trying to connect with ourselves on a deeper level. And perhaps it's in these first moments that you just take a moment to just check in with how you feel. Whatever that feeling may be, you can try and just acknowledge it, let it go. Try not to attach a specific label or feeling to whatever that, I guess, reality of how you're showing up for yourself today is. And it's always remembering that we're always different every single time we step on the mat. And even if you can hear a little bit of music, you're trying your best to start to tune in with the silence that lives within. Just trying to quiet down your mind. And even starting to soften your gaze and find a little bit of stillness in your own body. And straight away, once the breath begins, once the mind, begins to settle, you can start to draw your attention onto the breath. Starting to maybe notice the breath, perhaps even starting to hover your attention where the breath rises and falls. And then slowly from there, start to take control over the breath, maybe even starting to give it a little bit of sound as you maybe tune into your ujjayi. If you're not familiar with ujjayi breathing, it's that slight constriction of the breath at the back of the throat. It leads to that ocean-like sound. In a way, it is a breath that also really powers us up from within. And it is also our central focal point for this practice. So whenever we kind of drift our way in thought, or maybe when a pose is somewhat challenging, we try our best to come back to this place. And maybe we'll slowly start to breathe together. When you're ready, exhale all of your breath out, come to empty. Let's take a long, deep breath in with sound. And exhaling with sound. Deep breath in. And exhale, deep breath out. This time inhaling, deep breath in for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold the breath on full for 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhaling 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold the breath on full for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhaling 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Deep breath in 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. And then very slowly start to come back to your ujjayi if you have lost it. One more deep breath in. And then exhale, deep breath out to roll over the shins, blink open the eyes, remove any props from underneath you perhaps, and come into a child's pose. Reach the hands out in front of you. Nice long straight spine, drop the hips towards the heels. And next inhale, slowly come forwards. Find a tabletop position. And then for today, we're going to start straight away. Tuck the toes under, come into the downward facing dog. Maybe you start pedaling out through the feet, starting to just find gentle movement into your own body. It's going to be lots of suggestions that I'm going to give you guys today. I myself may not be able to do all of them, and that also means that nothing that I say is expected of you. So you can always take what I say, add on if you would like to add on, or take away wherever you'd like to take away. Take one more deep breath in here. And exhale with sound. Then inhale, come forwards. Find a plank pose. On the exhale, you're going to bend through the knees. Take the hips to hover off of the heels. So we're really trying to keep the knees nice and low. We're going to take 3 breaths here for 1. Exhale. Draw the navel in towards the spine for 2. Exhale. Last breath in 3. And exhale to straighten out those legs. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, deep breath out. Deep breath in to come forwards, find the plank pose. And exhale again, take the hips towards the heels as you hover the knees an inch off of the mat. 3 more breaths. 1. Exhale. Deep breath in. 2. Exhaling. I'm already starting to feel the shakes for 3. And exhale to straighten out those legs. Straight away, bring the gaze forwards between the hands. Make your way towards the top of the mat. Once you get there, lengthen halfway. Inhale. And exhaling, forward folding. Inhale, come all the way up to stand. Reach the hands up overhead. And exhale, hands through your heart center. Find Samasthiti. You can always keep the eyes closed or open. 3 breaths here. 1. Exhaling. Deep breath in. 2. Perhaps you start to connect to your drishti, or that single little point of focus on the floor. Last breath in. 3. And exhale. Inhale, reach the hands up towards the sky. Have fun. Exhaling forward, folding over the legs. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, plant the hands down, step it back, lowering down, knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing or cobra. And exhaling, downward facing dog. We move through our sun salutations to start. 3 breaths. 1. Exhaling. Deep breath in. 2. Exhale. Breath in. 3. And exhale to bend through the knees. Step or float forwards. Lengthening, inhale. And folding, exhaling. Deep breath in, reach the hands all the way up towards the sky. And on the exhale, forward folding over the legs, Uttanasana. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, plant the hands, step or float it back, arriving, chaturanga, bent elbows. Inhale, upwards. And exhaling, downward facing dog. Option to stay in your downward facing dog, or you're coming with me, walking the hands towards the back of the mat. Keeping the heels hip width distance apart, bend through the knees, reach through the hands for a wide chair pose. 3 breaths. 1. Exhale. Try and keep the spine nice and low. Tuck the tailbone under. 2. Last breath in. 3. Engage through the inner thighs. And exhale to forward fold. Take it all the way forwards into a plank pose. Inhale. And lower down, chaturanga, exhaling. Inhale upwards, take it slow. And exhaling, downward facing dog. Straight away, tiptoes, stepping or floating to the top of the mat. Lengthening, inhale. Folding, exhaling. Inhale, come all the way up to stand, Urdhva Hastasana. And exhaling, last time, forward folding over the legs. Lengthening, inhale. Plant the hands down, step or float it back. You can slowly start to speed it up a little bit more. Inhale upwards. And exhaling, downward facing dog. Again, option to stay as you are. You're coming back towards the back of the mat. Coming back into your wide chair. And as you keep the hips nice and low, you're going to kind of move the weight over towards the right side and just hover the left foot an inch off of the floor. 3 breaths. 1. Exhaling. Deep breath in. 2. Exhale. Last breath in. 3. And exhale, take it over towards the opposite side, lifting the right leg. 1. Exhaling, try and keep that left knee nice and bent. 2. Exhale. Last breath in. 3. And exhale, release, forward fold. Inhale, walk it all the way forwards, plank. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, upwards. And exhaling, downward facing. Straight away, stepping or floating top of the mat. Lengthening. And forward fold, exhale. Inhale, come all the way up to stand, Urdhva Hastasana. And exhaling, Samasthiti. Straight into our B's, inhale, chair pose. And exhale, forward folding over the legs. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, step or float it back. Chaturanga. Upward facing on the inhale. And downward facing on the exhale. Straight away, step the right foot forwards between the hands. Ground the left heel, warrior 1. And exhale, take it straight back down. We'll just do a very normal sun B to start, chaturanga. Inhale upwards. And exhale. Downward facing. Left foot steps forwards between the hands. Warrior 1. And exhale, take it all the way down. Nice long fluid motions. Always moving with the breath. And we meet downward facing dog. 3 breaths for 1. Exhale with sound. Breath in 2. Exhaling. Last breath in 3. Preparing, step or float forwards, lengthening, folding, exhale. Back into your chair pose, deep breath in. And you forward fold on the exhale. If you're new to my class, we do slow it down. Inhale, lengthen. Plant the hands down, step or float it back. Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing. Draw the shoulders back. And exhale, downward facing dog. Straight away, right foot steps forwards between the hands. Warrior 1. Listen up on the exhale. You're going to take it into a warrior 3. Float that left leg up and back. And always the option to stay in your warrior 3. Or if you're coming with the knee, you're going to start bending into that right knee. 3 breaths here for 1. Exhaling, really hovering that torso off the right thigh. 2. Last breath in 3. Exhale. Use the inhale to step it back, warrior 1. Use the exhale to take it all the way down, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing. And exhale. Downward facing dog. Left foot steps forwards, warrior 1, second side. And exhale, back into a warrior 3. Float that right leg up. And straight away, maybe you start bending into that left knee for 1. Exhaling. Deep breath in 2. Really find that balance. 3. And inhale, step the right foot back, warrior 1. Exhaling, chaturanga. Beautiful, guys. I'm sure you're doing amazing. Upward facing. And exhaling. Downward facing dog. 3 breaths. 1. Exhale with sound. Breath in 2. Exhale. Last breath in 3. Starting to prepare. Stepping or floating. Top of the mat. Exhaling, fold. Inhale, chair pose. Last time. Exhaling, forward folding over the legs. Lengthening, inhale. And plant the hands down, step or float it back. Chaturanga, we're always the option to take knees, chest, chin. We meet in a downward facing. Straight away, the right foot steps forwards between the hands, warrior 1. We're taking it back into a warrior 3. And then listen up on the inhale. Draw the left knee in towards the nose. And on the exhale, straighten out that left leg for Utthita Hasta. 3 breaths for 1. Exhale. Try and really keep everything nice and stacked. Straight right leg 2. That left leg is coming super high. 3. Exhale, move through a warrior 3. Inhale, warrior 1. And however you would like, you're arriving in a chaturanga. So I'm sure many of you maybe want to kick it up handstand. Maybe the other funky transitions. From a downward facing dog, left foot steps forwards. Ground the right heel, warrior 1. Exhale, float it into warrior 3. And straight away, inhale that right knee in towards the nose. Do it with control. And exhale, kick that right foot forwards. Deep breath in, 1. Exhaling. Breath in, 2. Exhale, really draw the navel in towards the spine. 3, a little higher. And exhale, warrior 3. Warrior 1, inhale. And exhale again. Your optional vinyasa, your transition. Maybe your transition also means skipping that transition, and that is also completely fine with me. 3 breaths. 1. Exhale. Breath in, 2. Exhaling. Last breath in, 3. Prepare and step or float, top of the mat. Lengthening, holding, exhaling. And inhale, find a chair pose. And from your chair, twist over towards the right. Bring the left elbow onto the outsides of the right knee. And towards the heart center. Try and keep those hips nice and low. And the hands are coming in towards the chest. Take 2 more breaths here. 1. Exhaling. Deep breath in 2. And exhale. Keeping the twist, bring the gaze down towards the floor. And you're maybe going to start hovering the left heel off of the floor. So option to stay here, you're balancing on your right leg. Option 2, you're starting to extend that left leg back behind you. 3 breaths here. 1. Exhaling. Deep breath in 2. Exhale. Last breath in 3. And exhale, bring it back. Inhale, chair pose. Exhale, twist over towards the left. Right elbow, left thigh. Try and make sure those knees are in line. Those thighs are wrapping in 2. Exhale. 1 more deep breath in 3. And exhale, gaze comes down. Option to stay, or you're leaning the weight in towards the left foot this time. Maybe starting to pick up the right heel in towards the right bum cheek. Option to stay here, maybe you start extending the leg back. I always find that when we start to move things a little bit slower, it's actually so much easier to control. Take 1 more deep breath in. And exhale, bring it back. Inhale, find a chair pose. On the exhale, interlace the hands above your head. Come down halfway. So the torso is really kind of balancing onto the tops of the thighs. You're reaching through the hands. Bum is pulling back. Since we're working all things lower body today, maybe you'd like to come onto the tips of the toes and lift the heels. Take 1 more deep breath in. My legs are shaking. And exhale, forward fold. Probably the best forward fold in the whole class. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, option 1. You can come into a malasana squat. Just bringing the heels out towards the sides. Hands in towards the heart center. Maybe because I need this more than you guys do. Option 2. Toes are still pointing forwards. And you're going to bring the knees onto the tops of the triceps for Bakasana Crow. Squeezing everything into the midline, lifting the heels off of the mat. 3 breaths. 1. Exhale. Deep breath in 2, really rounding through the upper shoulders. Last breath in 3. Maybe from there, you slowly lower the head down towards the floor. Draw the knees in towards the chest. Safely lift the legs up towards the sky. 3 breaths. 1. Exhale. Deep breath in 2. Exhaling. Last breath in 3. Any way you'd like, get back into a chaturanga, maybe piking the legs down halfway and stepping or floating it back. Inhale upwards. And exhale. Downward facing dog. From a downward facing, lift the right foot up towards the sky, 3-legged dog. Exhale, knee to the left shoulder. Coming straight into a twisted triangle, maybe extending the right leg towards the left side. Left hand up towards the sky. Option to stay there. You're hovering the leg off the floor for 1. Exhaling. Breath in 2. Exhale. Last breath in 3. And exhale. Draw the knee in towards the nose. And step the foot forwards. Inhale, warrior 1. And on the exhale, you're going to wrap the left arm over the right. So you're coming into a Garudasana, eagle arms. 3 breaths. 1. Exhaling. Breath in 2. Exhale. We draw the rib cage in, squeeze the hips forwards. And on the exhale, keeping the arms the same, you're going to lean the weight forwards, come into a warrior three with the bind of the arms. Deep breath in one, holding. Exhale, really find your drishti, find your dharana, your concentration. One more breath in three. Exhaling. Inhale the left knee in towards the nose. And exhale to wrap that left leg over the right. Come into your full eagle position. Everything squeezing into the midline. Lock your eyes in one place. 2. Exhaling. Last breath in 3. And an inhale. Draw the left knee in towards the nose. Exhale, unravel warrior 3. Inhale, warrior 2. Step it back. And arrive. Nice and normal. Warrior 2 for 1. Exhaling. Wrap that tailbone under. Draw the navel in 3. And on the exhale, you're going to bring the hands towards the heart center. Straighten out the right leg for Skandasana, back of our mat. And if you come all the way down, I'm going to ask you to come up halfway so you can feel the pose. 3 breaths for 1. Exhale. Breath in 2. Exhaling. Last breath in 3. And exhale, lower all the way down towards the floor. Of course, always the option to stay. You're going to take your right hand onto the left shin and find a nice stretch into your left side body. You're reaching towards that right leg. Maybe eventually take hold of the foot. It doesn't really matter. Wherever you are, your gaze is coming up towards the ceiling. Take one more deep breath in. And exhale, deep breath out. Releasing the bind. Hands in towards the heart. And without using the hands, come back through a warrior 2. And inhale for Trikonasana. Straighten out the right leg. Close the stance. Reach the right hand forwards. Right hand down. Left hand up towards the sky. 3 breaths. 1. Exhale. Deep breath in 2. Really find those shoulders stacked. Last breath in 3. And exhale, gaze comes down, maybe with a block. So if you do have a block handy, you can always take the block a little bit further in front of you. Starting to find your Ardha Chandrasana, half moon. If the block is not necessary, you're bringing the hand underneath the right shoulder. Maybe come onto the tips of the fingers. And you're just super active into that left leg. Actually, the more active you are, oopsies, into that left leg, the easier it's going to be to peel that right hand off the floor. One more deep breath in. And exhale, deep breath out. Step the left foot back. Make sure you have a brick. Lift the left hand up towards the sky. Inhale. And exhale to lean. So the left hand's coming forwards and then you twist. Left hand onto the outsides of the right foot. Twisted Trikonasana. Right hand up towards the sky. 3 breaths. 1. Exhale, squeeze through the inner thighs. Pull that right hip back. Last breath in 3. And exhale, release. So, of course, from here, everything now that we'll do from here on is a build up. Maybe you start lifting the left leg up towards the sky for your standing splits. Maybe you take hold of the right ankle. If you feel like you've had a little bit too much action onto the legs, you can come with the hands a little bit further forwards. And without even hopping, you can simply start transitioning the weight into the hands by coming onto the right tippy toe. If you do want to come upside down, maybe you take it closer to a wall Maybe you start by stacking everything over the wrists. Maybe you take a small little hop. It's quite difficult to do this while talking. And maybe you find your line upside down. 2 more breaths for 1. And exhale. Last breath in 2. And exhale to land. The right foot forwards, left foot back. Warrior 2. And straight away, side angle, right forearm comes down. Left hand reaches up and over. Deep breath in 1. Exhale. If you'd like to take a deeper hand onto the floor. 1 more deep breath in 3. Inhale, lift yourself up. Pivot round, find a high lunge. And exhale, find an arrow lunge as you come onto the ball of the back left foot. Super straight, long line. So it's almost as if there's a line from the fingertips out towards that left heel. Everything burns. 1 more deep breath in. And exhale to twist left elbow onto the right thigh. Hands in towards the heart. 3 breaths. 1. Exhaling. Breath in 2. Exhale. Make sure that left leg is super straight. 3. And exhale. Bring the hands down. Step it back. Lower down. Chaturanga. Beautiful, guys. Inhale. Upward facing. And exhaling. Downward facing dog. Always the option to take a short little break in a child's pose. Option 2, you're coming straight down onto your forearms for dolphin. Maybe even squeezing a brick between the fingertips, really preventing that internal rotation through the shoulders. And as you maybe come into your dolphin, you try your best to keep the gaze down towards the floor, stack those hips over the shoulders. And maybe you start by lifting a right leg up towards the sky, tilting the weight. Or maybe you simply hold dolphin with the right leg up. Take 5 more breaths. 1. Breath in 2. Last breath in, 2 more breaths. 3. Breath in 4. Last breath in 5. And then slowly lower down from wherever you've been. And take it into a child's pose or just resting down onto the shins. Just taking a moment to come back to your breath. Always remembering that as much as all of these poses can be fun and exciting, they're simply a way of us to, I guess, be present in a way, because it really requires so much of our attention. It also distracts us from what is really important. Maybe it also teaches us how we actually approach a certain challenge. Take 1 more deep breath in. And exhale, deep breath out to come into a downward facing dog. And we'll take it onto the second side. Lift the hips up and back. And then straight away, inhale the left leg, 3-legged dog. And exhale, knee to nose. And you're twisting it over towards the right this time, extending that left leg out in front. Oh, you can always bring the leg down, or you hover the foot off the floor. 3 breaths. 1. Exhale. Deep breath in 2. Really push into that right hip up towards the sky. Last breath in 3. And exhale. Right hand down, knee to nose, and slowly step the foot forwards between the hands. Warrior 1, inhale. And exhale, this time you wrap the right arm under the left. Coming into your eagle arms. Try and squeeze the tailbone under. Squeeze through the arms. If I will stretch into the backs of the shoulders. upper back. 2 more breaths. 1 and 2. Keeping the interlace of the hands, slightly moving it forwards, taking into a warrior 3. Pick up that back right leg. 3 breaths for 1. Exhale, really active through that back right toe. 2. Last breath in. 3. Draw the right knee in towards the nose. And exhale to wrap the right leg over the left. And it's so important for you guys to really lock your eyes in one place. It makes the balance in these poses just so much easier. Deep breath in. 2. Exhale, squeeze everything to the midline. 3. Inhale, unravel. Exhale, warrior 3. Inhale, warrior 2. Opening out wide. Deep bend into that left knee. 1. Exhaling. Deep breath in. 2. Exhale. Breath in. 3. And exhale, hands in towards the heart. You're taking it towards the back of the mat. Sorry if I'm giving you my back. And if you come all the way down, lift yourself up halfway. Try and bring that right thigh parallel to the floor. 3 breaths. 1. Exhaling. Breath in. 2. Exhale. Last breath in. 3. And exhale to lower all the way down towards the floor. Once he comes down, take the left hand onto that right shin and reach the right hand up and over towards, but not having to grab the foot. If you do take hold of the foot, you just use it to pull yourself deeper and to open through the chest. 2 more breaths. There's always one of these moments that is just so, it's like one of those aha moments. 1 more. And slowly let it go. Again, without using the hands, come back, warrior 2. And then straighten out that left leg for Trikonasana. Reach the left hand forwards. And left hand comes down, right hand reaches up. 3 breaths. 1. Deep breath in. 2. Always fine to use a brick in these poses. Last breath in. 3. And exhale, gaze comes down. You keep the hands the same, but you simply reach the left hand forwards for Ardha Chandrasana. Reach that right foot up towards the sky. Active through that back right leg for 1. Exhaling. Deep breath in. 2. Exhale. Last breath in. 3. And exhale to step the right foot back. Again, make sure you have a brick. Reaching the right hand up towards the sky. Inhale. And exhale. Lean and twist. Right hand down. Left hand up towards the sky. So you should feel like the kind of twist is coming through the upper body. The hips are somewhat kind of square down towards the floor. You're trying your best to really pull that left hip back. 1 more breath in. And exhale. Forward folding over that left leg. Again, always the option to stay as you are. Or maybe you start lifting the right foot up towards the sky, finding your standing splits. Your closest approximation, maybe even taking hold of the left ankle. Finding your balance. I'm a little wobbly today. And an option from here, again, no need to actually take it upside down. You can simply lean the weight forwards and lift that left heel off of the floor. That should already feel like a lot into the shoulders. Option 2, you lock your eyes in place between the thumbs. You stack those shoulders over the wrists, maybe the hips over the wrists. And maybe as you take one little jump, it's actually Not that far that you have to travel. Maybe drawing both legs straight. Take 2 more breaths. 1. Exhaling. 1 more breath in. 2. And exhale to land the left foot forwards. Right foot back. Opening out wide. Warrior 2. And straight away come into a side angle. Left arm down. Right hand reaches up and over. And then from there, maybe bringing the left hand down onto the floor. Take 3 breaths at your own pace. Still keeping that deep bend into the left knee. And then slowly come back. Warrior 2. Exhaling. Inhale, come into a warrior, into a high lunge. Reach the right hand or the hands up towards the sky. And exhale to lean. Reach the hands forwards. Arrow lunge. 3 breaths. 1. Exhaling. Breath in. 2. Exhale. Last breath in. 3. And exhale, twist. Right elbow, left thigh. Hands in towards the heart. Last 3 breaths on this leg for 1. Exhaling. Breath in. 2. Exhale. Last breath in. 3. And exhale, bring both hands down. Step it back. Chaturanga. And always take it nice and slow. Inhale, upward facing. Draw the chest open. And exhale. Downward facing dog. From your downward facing, always the option to rest. You could take a child's pose. Or maybe again, you're wrapping those elbows. Maybe they even come down at the same time, bringing them down towards the floor. And you walk the feet in. This time lifting the left leg up towards the sky. Maybe starting to tiptoe. Coming into your dolphin, 3-legged dolphin. Maybe pincha on the wall. 3 more breaths wherever you are. Really challenging yourself. And if you are trying to find dolphin or pincha, eventually really push into those forearms. Lift the shoulder blades away from the floor. And then slowly lower down. Take it into a child's pose or onto the shins. Coming back to your breath. And then slowly from there, downward facing. From downward facing dog, step or float the hands towards the feet. Take hold of the toes of the first 3 peace fingers. Lengthening, inhale halfway. And exhale to fold over the thighs. Deep breath in. 1. Exhaling. Breath in. 2. Exhale. Breath in. 3. And exhaling. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, bring the whole hand underneath the foot. Lengthening, inhale. Palahastasana. Exhaling, fold. You can always bend the knees. Deep breath in. 1. Exhale. We spent a lot of time on our hands. This probably feels like a really nice release into those wrists. 1 more deep breath in. And exhale, deep breath out. Beautiful. From there, release both hands. Bring let's go towards the left first. Let's bring the right hand onto the right hip. And you're going to, again, take your first 3 peace fingers and collect those left toes. You're going to come all the way up to standing. So you're leaning over towards the left leg. And you come all the way up to stand. You can come up with the knee bent. You can also come up with the leg straight. Wherever you are, you're straightening out down through that right leg and maybe starting to squeeze the left shoulder in towards the left shoulder socket. 2 more breaths. 1. Exhale. Deep breath in. 2. And exhale, you're opening the leg out towards the side. Maybe the gaze comes over the right shoulder. 1. Breath in. 2. You can always take hold of the knee. Last breath in. 3. And exhale, bring it back. Listen up, keeping the leg exactly as it is. Ooh. Release the hands. Bring both hands onto the hips. 3 more breaths. 1. Exhaling. Breath in. 2. Exhale. Last breath in. 3, a little higher. And on the exhale, recollect those toes. Take a deep breath in. And listen up, we're gonna go all the way down towards the floor. So you're moving kind of through a pistol squat. Try and take it slow. And then maybe from there, release the bump down towards the floor, release the leg. Reach the right hand up towards the sky for your Marichiasana bind. And you're reaching the right arm onto the insides of the right leg, maybe wrapping the left hand behind you and folding over the left leg. Few breaths here. Take 1 more. And exhale, deep breath out. Releasing. Recollect those left toes. And you're going to try your best to do this without the use of the hands, but we're coming back up to standing the way that we came. But maybe the way that you do this is that you basically push into that left foot, come up halfway first, and maybe from there you push down into that right leg, come all the way back up, and then release the leg, fold forwards, interlacing the hands behind your back. Just letting it go. Deep breath in. 1. Exhale. Deep breath in. 2. And I giggle because I feel it too. Plus the added need of talking on top of it. 1 more breath in. And slowly release. Left hand onto the left hip. Right hand collects the right toes. This time you're coming over towards the left side as you come all the way up to standing, maybe with a bent knee, maybe with a straight leg. 3 breaths. 1. Exhaling. Breath in. 2. Exhale. Last breath in. 3. Opening it out to the side. Trying to keep the hips leveled. 3 breaths. 1. Deep breath in. 2. Gaze to the left. Last breath in. 3. Exhale, pull it back, letting the foot go. Both hands onto the hips. 3 breaths. 1. Challenge yourself. 2. Breath in. 3. And exhale, collect those right toes and come all the way down very slowly. Please, you're gonna have to forgive me today. Towards the floor. Letting go of the right foot. Reach the left hand up towards the sky and fold forwards, wrapping the left hand onto the insides of the left shin. And the head comes down towards the right shin or the right knee. Few breaths. One more deep breath in. And exhale, deep breath out. Again, releasing, taking hold of those right toes. And we're coming back the way that we came. Again, maybe you simply push into that left foot, come up halfway first, and push into that left leg, come all the way up to standing. Let it go, and let's reinterlace our hands behind our back, forward folding. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, deep breath out. One more time. And exhale, release. Inhale the hands up towards the sky. Bring the toes into touch. And exhaling, Samasthiti. Right foot's going to step towards the top of the mat or any way that feels comfortable. Toes are going to turn out. Heels are turning in. Bend into the knees for goddess. Maybe from there, hands them towards the heart to start. Just get comfortable. And you want to make sure that you feel the engagement into the backs of the hips and they're pulling the knees open. Option, you stay here. Option 2, maybe you start to bring the elbows onto the insides of the thighs. Option 3, I guess, you can bring the hands into the ankles, so you're really working that opening into the inner hips. Option 4, maybe release and you keep the engagement to the legs as you reach the hands forwards for 3 breaths. 1. Exhaling. Breath in 2, maybe you start to feel the shakes. Breath in 3. And then slowly bring the hands down, turn the toes in, heels out, forward folding for Prasarita. Hands are maybe coming in line with the heels, fingertips facing forwards. And you're leaning the weight into the feet. It's protecting those hamstrings. And if inverting is in your practice, you can always lower the head down towards the floor and come up into a tripod headstand. You have 2 more breaths to get, back into a forward fold. From here, inhale, lengthen halfway. Exhale, hands onto the hips. Inhale, come all the way up to stand. Reach the hands up overhead. And exhale, interlace the hands behind your back. Take a breath in without moving the hips. And exhale to forward fold. Again, bringing the head down and the hands up and over. Almost feel like you're pulling the head down towards the floor. And the hands are pulling away from you. Really feeling the stretch into the fronts of the shoulders. 2 more. One more breath in. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, simply bring the hands underneath the face and start scooting the feet out towards the sides for your box splits. Samakonasana. So you should also feel like the outer blade of your feet are on the mat, or maybe further than the mat, but they're on the floor and pushing down towards the floor. One more deep breath in. Exhale, deep breath out. And so from there, heel toe, the feet in towards you. Make sure you have your blocks and pivot round towards the right leg. Straightening out the right leg, bump the hips back towards the left heel, untuck the left toes, forward folding. And an option, of course, to stay there, or you start to scoot that right foot forwards for your full variation of splits. Doesn't matter how far you go. Like, I've kind of starting to give up on the fact that my legs just do not work in these directions, and that is fine. Wherever you are, just squeeze into the inner thighs and try not to force it. And instead, just feel the pose. One more breath. And slowly make your way back, straight away, straightening out through the left leg. Pivoting round towards the left side, dropping the right knee. And straightening out the left leg for Ardha Hanumanasana, half splits. Folding forwards over the left thigh. Option to stay there. Or again, you're starting to scoot that left foot forwards, right foot back. Try not to force it. Squeezing through the inner thighs. And there's so many factors that can impact our flexibility. So I really feel like these are the kinds of poses where, at least in my own body, every single day they look and feel completely different. Today being one of those very tight days, I suppose. One more breath in. And exhale, deep breath out. And slowly draw that left leg in. Disregard the blocks. Come back through a Prasarita stance. And slowly, maybe you'll walk the feet a little bit further forwards. You're going to reach the hands behind you, coming all the way down. Bum pushes back, heels pull forwards, and maybe for a second, you lift yourself off the floor. Coming all the way down. From your straddle position, reaching the hands up towards the sky. I like to take this quite active. So you're pulling the hands up and over, engaging through the legs, and then from there, folding forwards. Upavista Konasana. If you're quite tight into the hamstrings, you can also bring the hands behind you and simply work on taking the chest past the hips. Wherever you are, take 3 more breaths. Never leave or letting kind of those legs, or never not having those legs engaged. 1 more deep breath in. Deep breath out. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale. Simply bring those legs forwards. You're going to find a Navasana, boat pose. You can keep the knees bent. You can also extend the legs up towards the sky. 3 breaths here. 1. Exhaling. Breath in 2. Exhale. Breath in 3. Listen up, keeping the left leg exactly as it is. Lower the right leg down to hover. 3 breaths. 1. Exhaling. Breath in 2. Exhale. Last breath in 3. And exhale, switching sides, taking the left leg down. 1. Exhale. Breath in 2. Exhaling. Last breath in 3. And exhale, take both legs down to hover. Reach the hands back behind you. Ardha Navasana. 3 breaths. 1. Exhaling. Squeeze. 2. Exhale. Last breath in 3. Exhale. Navasana. Take it back through the chaturanga. Always the option to take a jump through a handstand, especially once we start engaging that core. It's absolutely the best time. Amazing. From a downward facing dog, bring the knees behind the hands at the top of the mat. Coming into your Supta Virasana, maybe the knees are onto the outsides of the heels, or the hips, sorry. And if that's uncomfortable onto the knees, maybe you bring the heels underneath the bum. You can always sit on a block, and then from there, simply start to lean back. If that feels comfortable, come down onto the forearms. If that feels comfortable, maybe you lean all the way back. You can always reach the hands back behind you. One more deep breath in here. And slowly from there, maybe taking hold of the heels. Come back down onto the forearms. Lift yourself up. Funky transitions are always welcome. Maybe it's head down, hands down by the knees. You can see the fingertips. Maybe straighten out the legs or tripod. And maybe you start lifting the legs, or maybe even drawing the legs in towards the chest. Maybe from there you drop the knees, in towards the elbows. Take it through a crow pose. And step or jump it back. Upward facing inhale. And downward facing exhaling. From a downward facing dog, step or float all the way to seated and come all the way down to lie onto your back. We're going to take it into a bridge, starting to lift the hips and interlace the hands behind your back. Slowly starting to wind down our practice. Especially after all of those forward folds, it's quite nice to start taking it into an opposite direction. Really push down through all four corners of your feet. And slowly from there, release it down. Maybe you bring your hands Anjali Mudra, prayer, in towards the third eye. Just feeling the effects of the pose onto our body. And always the option to take it into a more restorative pose. You can, of course, take it back into a bridge pose, or you're taking it up by bringing the hands behind you. You can always take this onto bricks close to the wall, maybe taking it into your full wheel. Just be wary of the fact that we haven't done many inversions today. I mean, back bends today. And you want to push into the hands to take the chest towards the back of the mat. Really engage the backs of the legs, squeeze the shoulder blades in towards each other, really protect the lower back. Take one more deep breath in. And exhale, lower down. Again, maybe the hands come Anjali Mudra and towards the third eye, close down the eyes. Just feeling the pose. And you have the option to take one last and final back bend. Again, this may be restorative, meaning a brick underneath the sacrum. Or maybe you'd like to take it into one last and final Urdhva Dhanurasana, full wheel. Maybe this time coming down onto the crown of the head, walking the hands a little bit further in, and coming into a deeper variation of the pose. Toes are still pointing towards the top of the mat. Take one more deep breath in. And exhale, lower down. Drawing the knees in towards the chest and straight away. Rock, hips slightly side to side. And dropping the heels back down towards the floor, mat width distance apart. Simply windshield wiper the legs lightly side to side. And slowly from there, knees in towards the chest. Rock up and down the length of your spine. And arriving in the chaturanga, any way you'd like to get there. Stepping or floating it back. Funky transitions, always welcome. Inhale upward. And downward facing dog on the exhale. Taking into a pigeon on the right side. Any way you'd like, bring the right shin somewhat parallel to the top of the mat. That back left leg extending back behind you. And try your best to make sure there's no pain into that right knee. Maybe you start folding forwards over the right thigh. Always the option to bring a block underneath the right hip, or a rolled up towel or a cushion. And so many times we don't have bricks maybe handy, but there are so many other things that we can use to replace that lift that we sometimes need. Just start to let it go. Try and consciously redirect your attention and soften into the target areas. And slowly from there, walk the hands back in line with the shoulders. Fall over towards the right side. Draw the left leg up and over onto the outsides of the right thigh. Make sure both sit bones are down towards the floor. And then from there, you take a twist. Right elbow onto the outside of the left knee. Gaze and towards that left shoulder. If you like taking funky binds, you can always kind of wrap that right arm onto the insides of that left leg and take the left hand behind you. And sometimes coming into these pretzel-like positions can also feel quite releasing. And slowly release. Take it over towards the opposite side, letting it go. And then again, step or float it back. Maybe last and final vinyasa for today at least. Inhale upwards. And exhaling, downward facing dog. Drawing the left leg into pigeon. Left shin somewhat parallel to the top of the mat. And extend that back right leg back behind you. Again, taking it into a forward fold. Consciously moving the energy and the attention throughout your body, softening whatever needs to be softened. And slowly from there, start walking the chest back. Going over towards the left side. Right leg all the way over towards the outside of the left. And again, both sit bones down towards the floor. And left hand or left elbow twists onto the outsides of the right leg. Always trying your best to mimic what you did on one side and on the other. I do recognize that this isn't always possible. And slowly from there, letting it go. If you'd like to take it into a closing variation of your own, you can also head there now. If you're coming with me, or simply coming into a simple cross-legged position, maybe you even find lotus legs, interlacing the hands behind the back, maybe grabbing the elbows. And from there, simply fold forwards, dropping the head down towards the floor. I'm starting to seal in the effects of the practice. Keeping the eyes closed. You're going to take a long, deep breath in, holding the breath in full. And you hold the breath on full, maybe even taking it into a seated meditation or a shavasana. You only let go of the breath once you have arrived in your final place of rest. Absolutely nothing left you have to do. Shavasana or seated meditation. And very slowly, you're going to start to draw your attention back into the physical room. If you'd like to stay down for longer, you can always stay down for longer. If you're coming with me, you're going to slowly start to reawaken your body, just wiggling out the fingers and in any way you'd like. You can slowly start to make your way back into a seated position at the top of your mat. Once you got there, just taking a moment to really just feel what is different. Always acknowledging that this practice has so much to teach us, and so much of what is lived on in the mat, our thoughts, our feelings, our frustrations, are really just replicas of what we experience in the real world. In a way, maybe you can take your attitudes and approach to this practice and start applying it into other realms of your life. It's really remembering that the true magic of this practice happens off of the mat and not really on it. And slowly bring the hands in towards the heart center. You can bow the head down towards the hands or all the way down towards the floor.